Dad sitting across from me in the pub.
Christopher Lyon's father received a medically assisted death. To this day, he doesn't know how he was approved.
You should be able to have a very clear understanding about what rationales or what reasons were used to justify that. And we do not have those.
John Lyon was a retired police officer. He loved playing the flute and lived on a boat off Vancouver Island.
That's him in happier times at the
His
pub.
son says his dad struggled with depression and suicidal thoughts. 2 years ago, he was sent to hospital after a sepsis infection and multiple falls.
It was during this time, around thereabouts, he started thinking about, he mentioned MAiD.
Not long after, the 77-year-old applied at Victoria's Royal Jubilee Hospital and was granted approval.
I was astounded at this and sort of reiterated my concerns and got told not to make contact with the assessor or with the provider again. I got there on a Thursday night and he died on a Friday.
But even after his death, Christopher says he received few answers from the hospital.
The reasons that we were told, which related to stopping eating and drinking and an infection that he didn't want treated, aren't on that form, so we don't know why.
The health authority for Vancouver Island, Island Health, says it can't comment on specific patients because of privacy concerns. But Christopher Lyon is speaking publicly. He shared his story with a parliamentary committee, arguing that if his father had better access to housing and health care, things may have been different.
This government appears to be inexorably moving from a culture of life to a culture of death.
It is not the kinds of hypotheticals that are trotted out, oftentimes rather hyperbolically, about, oh, well, someone who has just thought about suicide or is feeling down will get it is not the case. Read the guidelines.
Under the law, only people with irremediable mental health conditions would qualify.
There is no differentiation between mental illness and other so-called physical or medical conditions. After all, psychiatric illness is a disorder of the human brain.
But this psychiatrist warns there's no consensus on which disorders never improve.
I believe that some people have already received a medically assisted death for reasons that society initially would not have wanted them to.
It's not the kind of death Christopher wanted for his father.
If someone is suicidal and they have an illness that they can use to justify access to MAiD with, we end up in some very dangerous places.
A debate about what it means to die on your own terms. Touria Izri, Global News, Ottawa.